exclusive, and I'm Meghna Deka. And this is the Great Indian Fertility Survey. Well, the numbers are in and they are very telling. Well, India's fertility rate has officially dropped. Well, nowadays, people want more vacations and fewer children, it appears. More brunches, fewer babies. Well, across India, especially in urban and southern states, people are now choosing careers. They are choosing their comfort. They have freedom over family planning. And perhaps all of it comes with more education and access to it. What's the consequence, however? Well, this is the red flag which has been raised by United Nations body. India's fertility rate has now dipped to just 1.9 births per woman, officially below the replacement level, which is 2.1. Now, what is the replacement level? Remember, 2.1, which is 2.1 births per woman as a population, is what is required in India to ensure that we sustain the same level. What we, however, have now is that a fertility level of 1.9 births per woman, which is less than what is required to sustain this. Of course, India's population itself per se is not shrinking. It's no longer just about personal choice. The trend that we are seeing is reshaping the nation's entire future. In fact, what we are explaining to you is what do the numbers say and what it really means. Let's break it down for you in a deep dive. Well, there you have it on the screens. The numbers say that the fertility rate is less than the replacement rate. But what does that really mean? It means that falling fertility is unmet by the reproductive goals as a nation. The second thing that it shows, that the fertility rate is 1.9 births per woman in India. What does it mean, however, is that women are having fewer children now. The third thing that we understand is that the replacement level stands at 2.1. And the reason why this is very significant, it means that the fertility needed to maintain the population is less than what is required per se. So which are the top 5 states? What we are going to do for you here is break it down state-wise. Where does your state feature? Is it something, one of the states which is high on the fertility index, or is it low on the fertility index? Well, you have the map right behind me and we are going to get you the details of it all. Well, look at the highest fertility rate and there you have it on your screens. What's required? The required rate is 2.1. But in states, predominantly in northern India, are the ones who are the states which have more fertility than which is per se required, which is Uttar Pradesh comes at a fertility rate of 2.35, Bihar is at 3.0. So the highest fertility rates in India is coming in from Bihar. There are more people having more children here, essentially. Manipur has a fertility rate of 2.17. Meghalaya has a fertility rate of 2.9, almost as close as Bihar. And Jharkhand has a fertility rate of 2.3. Of course, there are demographic distinctions also. The population of Bihar is far more than the population of Meghalaya. So those are the larger details, which of course we are going to be discussing through the show as well. But let's tell you about the states which have the lowest fertility. And this is very significant. This is the states which are below the fertility rate, which is below 2.1 fertility rate. The first one there you have, for example, Jammu and Kashmir, which has 1.4 fertility rate, which is much less than the required rate of 2.1. Himachal Pradesh, again, 1.7. Punjab is at 1.6. Sikkim has 1.05. Delhi's fertility rate stands at 1.6. West Bengal's fertility rate stands at 1.6 as well. Goa stands at 1.3. Well, these are the states, union territories, which have below fertility rate. But also, now we are going to explain to you which are the states which have, perhaps many would say, important for them to look into it. We are going to tell you about the fertility rates which are there at 1.9 and the states, union territories who are below India's average. And these are the states perhaps which should be looking into it concertedly. There you have it on your screens. This is the national average that we've marked out for you in orange, which is around 1.9, which is currently there. Remember, the replacement rate is 2.1. India's fertility rate is 1.9. And these are the states which are below the average of even 1.9, less than what it is already is on an average. And it's very interesting if you see, it's Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Kerala and Karnataka. All of these are southern states. All of them have less fertility rates than even the nation's average. Tamil Nadu stands at 1.8, Andhra Pradesh at 1.7, Telangana at 1.8, you have Kerala at 1.8, Karnataka also at 1.7. Then you look at those states which are above the average of India, and you have these states: Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Gujarat at 1.9, Rajasthan at 2.0, Madhya Pradesh again at 2, Uttar Pradesh at 2.35 and Bihar at 3. So you can see the highest, as I was telling you earlier, comes in from Bihar. But then you can see this trend as to how geographically also there is clearly a divide. Now what we are going to explain to you is India's declining fertility rate, because you know, it's not just about 1 year or second year or third year. It's about a decadal shift where we have seen when it comes to the dropping fertility rates. In 2000, India's fertility rate, this as per the World Bank, stood at 3.4. Then by 2005, it came to 3. It dipped further to 2.6 by 2010. By 2015, it was 2.3. Then it came down further. By 2020, it was at 2. And now look at it, in 2025, it is at 1.5. You can see how over the last 25 years, there has been a declining trend in India's fertility rate. But in all of this, India is in the middle of the historic opportunity, the demographic dividend. And that is very important for us to understand. What is the demographic dividend? How is it going to help the economy and ensure that we prosper, because we have the advantage of more working people? Well, the country is in the middle of once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, which is the demographic dividend. Well, according to the UN Population Fund, India's demographic dividend, which is the period when the working age population outnumbers the number of people who are dependents, essentially people who are not in the working age category. Well, this spans a massive 5 decades. In fact, you have all of this on your screens from 2005 to 2006, all the way to 2055 to 56. Let's break it down for you. This is the decadal advantage that we have between the years of 2005, 2006, all the way to 2055 to 56. We have an advantage because there are way more people who are going to be in the working age rather than those people who are on the dependent or retired age. This gives us a huge dividend when it comes to demography, and the peak of this dividend is going to be around the year of 2041. This as per the UN Population Fund. They are saying by the year 2041, India is going to explode because of the demography dividend. However, here's the problem. What happens after we peak? Then the demographic dividend is also going to come shrinking down, and the working population, which is expected at 2041, will be at 65%. This is the projected ones. But what happens after 2055, 2056? This is the time when this opportunity will slowly start slipping out. Let's decode all these numbers, go across to the specialists who really can understand the meaning and the significance of these numbers. Well, today we are joined on the show by Poonam Mutreja. She is from ED Population Foundation of India. Also, Dr. Rishikesh Pai is joining us. He is a senior gynecologist as well as a fertility expert at the Leelavati Hospital as well as Fortis in Delhi. I'm going to come across to you, Poonam Mutreja, first, because we are going to put out the statistics when it comes to the states, the southern states versus the northern states. Is there a specific reason as to why this pattern seems to be emerging? We have it behind me as well. A pattern seems to be emerging that it's in the southern state where the fertility has been declining. In the northern states, in the central states as well, like Madhya Pradesh, the fertility rates are very high. Why?
So, the southern part of India has invested in women's education, better health services, greater access to family planning for a long time. You know, you have to begin with education. Education is the best contraceptive pill. Women who have class 12 education are likely to have 2 or close to 2 children, while women who are not literate, not educated, are likely to have more children. So we have to learn from South India what they've done. The indicators are much better for women's empowerment, which is education, health, as well as services that are given to them. Finally, you know, South India took development far more seriously and invested in development than parts of North India, I'm afraid. They have a long way to catch up. And finally, the social norms in northern part of India are far more patriarchal. Women have less freedoms of mobility. Women have less decision-making power. So it has a lot to do with, you know, Nari Shakti we keep talking about. But Nari Shakti really is something that changes the demographic profile of societies. Then second, you know, age at marriage is much higher in southern parts of India compared to North India. Women marry early, less educated, so they marry early too. And early marriage, they are expected to prove their fertility as soon as they get married. And so you see young girls who have no control on their fertility, who have no control, decision making, and we don't believe in giving access to family planning services, even to married young girls of, you know, I'm talking about adolescents, 15 years, girls are not given access because our social norms dictate that they must prove their fertility. So it's a very anti, you invest in women, you'll get the results. And also better governance. We have the health systems in the south are much better than the health systems and governance in northern part of India.
So you have health systems, you have education, and of course more awareness and less patriarchal systems, which may be one of the contributing factors to the decline of the fertility rate. But Dr. Rishikesh Pai, I have something similar. I'm going to take off from what Ms. Mutreja has said. If you look at the World Bank data, they said that in 1960, the population of India was about 436 million. Women had 6 children. That was as high as 6 children per woman. But only 1/4 of them had access to contraceptives. Only half of them actually attended primary school. The importance of contraception, also the access to contraception, the education, the social norms are the ones which are dictating it. Have you seen a pattern of late as well?
Yes, I totally, first of all, agree with Poonam Mutreja, and overall, I am quite excited that our fertility rate has come down actually, because it was our objective and our planning. My father was in family planning in those times, and our plan was to evolve the fertility, give more access to family planning, because there was a big problem. There was a lot of pressure, and our previous seniors, they envisioned that there may be a pressure on our infrastructure, there may be influence on climate, and we wanted to balance our population. That we have achieved, and I must say thanks to the government and effort of all the NGOs like Dr. Poonam Mutreja and so many of them who really put in a lot of effort and brought this under control. So now we are at a cusp kind of, we are at a level where initially in the olden days we had 4-5 kids. Now if you look at my friend circle, among the 6 of us, 3 of us have got only 1 child. So the preferences are also, we want to give more to our children. We want to give them the best education. So obviously we can't have too many kids, because so that balance has come in the society, and that is a good point. The bad point is that how do we see that this balance is maintained in our favor? How can we maintain our economic dividend at the same time maintain this balance also, because we have to also take care of climate change, population, infrastructure pressure. So we need to balance it out.
In fact, Poonam Mutreja, how do we balance it out? We are just talking about the demographic dividend. It's likely to cusp around 2041. That's when India will get the max when it comes to a demographic dividend. What happens after 2055? There are already chief ministers, especially of the southern states. You have Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, Chief Minister Stalin, who are talking about how the South has fewer people within the nation. It's not just about the national average. Is this a genuine concern, specifically if we look at state-wise?
Yes. So I do believe that the concerns raised by Mr. Naidu and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister are genuine. But we have to, it's a demographic change and curve that everybody follows, every country. We have to learn and anticipate the problem and plan for it. So let me first deal with what I call the silver dividend, which is the aging society.
Right.
Let's invest in our aging society. Let people work longer than they are working today. Let's upgrade their skills. Let's have them volunteer / earn money both for the good of society. We have a huge shortage of trained professionals or trained employed people. Upskilling them is not going to be very difficult. Second, let's provide for healthcare, geriatric healthcare. Now is the time to plan. So those are two things I'm mentioning, but we can do a lot more.
So
for
that's
our
already
aging
improving
society
over the
and have
decade.
Policies and programs.
Yes, that's absolutely. I agree with you. Dr. Rishikesh Pai, a quick last question. The fact that, and this is very important, and this is something Ms. Mutreja is also pointing out, it's important for us to point out, fertility may be declining, the population is still increasing. It's not like get into a rush to have more babies, because the population is still on the incline and we are expecting about 1.46 billion people to be clocked in by the end of this year, as per estimates. Dr. Pai?
Right. So the population is increasing. So the population is increasing, and the older population is suddenly what has happened is the fertility rate is falling down, and the older population is suddenly is going to be in front of us. So we need to, as Dr. Poonam Mutreja was saying, we need to care for the older. We need to redefine old. I don't think 65 is old anymore. I am 65. I think the 75 is the new norm. So our young population is growing. We are young actually. So that is important, because we don't want to lose the advantage which we have got. We have brought in access to care, contraception. It has to continue being maintained, and somehow we need to have more balance. We need to optimize our fertility rate at 2.1. We need to bring a balance in our population, and I'm sure we'll be able to do it, because we are a very pragmatic population. Our country is a very smart, intelligent country, and we will do the right thing.
That the policies are in place. Hopefully we are going to execute it as well. The alarm bells have rung. It's not like we were unaware that there was a population explosion. Now we are also aware of the declining demographic dividend which we have. But it's important to have this conversation, which is why here on Times Now we decided to bring you the Great Fertility Survey. Hopefully you've learned something new today. Thank you so much, Dr. Mutreja, as well as Dr. Pai, for joining us here on the show. Sorry, we are running out of time. Without a short break, don't go anywhere.
When the stakes are high and the answers are elusive, there's one voice unafraid to challenge the status quo.